So we're just talking a little bit more about some of these alkanes. I want you to recognize you can tell if it's an alkane. You can tell how many carbons there are, hydrogens there are by doing a little math problem. So again, C3H8 was propane. Notice 1, 2, 3, and then of course we had our 8 hydrogens all the way around it. Notice that to figure out how many hydrogens, it's going to be the amount of carbons times 2 plus 2. All right, and this works for how many hydrogens there are in an alkane. So, for example, let's say we have C5. This, of course, would be pentane. Pentane, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, there we go, that's better. C5, what would you think the H would be if we follow this little rule? 12. And let's go ahead and check to see if that works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yippity-doo. It works out good for us, okay? So there's your alkanes. All right. Now, we're not only going to have these very basic alkanes, we're going to start to see this next part, which are what's called branched chain alkanes. Branched chain alkanes, folks, it's as simple as saying we have a carbon chain, okay, there's 4 carbons in a row, and then off of one of the central ones, there's another carbon. It wouldn't be another hydrogen because that would be just considered a regular alkane. So notice that if I put, I just want you to know, let's say I put 4, and I put a branch off of the first, it's not a branch. Because notice I have one continuous chain, it's just been kind of bent. All right, so realize that we can't have a branch off the first or off the last for that matter, because it would just be like it's kind of bending around on you. So you can only have branch chains off of your central carbons. All right, so again, if I had something that looked like this, it looks kind of funky, but really all it is just a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just all 8 in a row. This would be called octane. There's no branches on that one. This has branches. So let's take a look at what a branch is and how we name those. It's pretty straightforward. You're going to see some really cool naming. When you get out of here today, you're going to say, man, I'm a pretty smart scientist. First, you find the longest continuous chain. The longest continuous chain. The next thing you would do is number the carbons in the main chain. And you're always going to number them so that the branches are off the lowest numbered carbon. And I'll show you what this all is in a second. All right? Then you will find out what the branches are, number them, and then use the suffix YL for them. Okay, and again, you'll see all this in just a minute. Use prefixes if the branch occurs more than once. And lastly, we always want to do it alphabetical. All right, so here's my branch. Let me just kind of clean this up, and I'll do the exact same one, but I'll clean it up a little bit. So here's my carbon chain with a branch off of it. The rule says find the longest continuous chain. Well, I'm going to kind of do that with B and number the carbons in the main chain. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want you to notice that I also numbered it so that the branches offered the lowest numbered carbons. What I mean by that is, instead of numbering this 1, 2, 3, 4, where the branch would have been off the 3 if I number it backwards, and this one, the branch is off of the 2. The reason that is because notice if I have this structure right here, it's the same thing, right? It's the exact same one. It's just been flipped. So if you're looking at this carbon right here, you know, you get your carbon sticking up. Really all that this one is looking at it from the back side. It's not a different carbon alkane. All right? So you always, if you wanted to number this carbon structure, we would number it 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, that carbon is off of the second carbon. Okay? So let me erase that and we'll just keep going. So here's my start here. So I've found the longest chain. I've numbered the carbons, so that's the main chain. I've found, now I'm going to find out, this is the third part here, find out what the branches are. How many carbons in that branch? 1. So that's a meth, right? Meth is 1. And we're going to use the suffix YL. So, methyl. Methyl. All right. And when it says number them, what we mean by that is we're going to tell people that it's off of the second carbon. All right. So, the name of this thing would simply be 2-methyl. It tells me I've got a methyl off of the second carbon. And then how many in the long chain? 4. So that's butane. 2-methyl butane would be the name of this branch chain alkane. 2-methyl butane. I'm going to show you what this alphabetical and use the prefix if it occurs more than once in my next slide. But again, what I've basically done here is long chain, number them, prefix, and the suffix YL, and then just put it together. All right. So let me go ahead.